Welcome to CG Simplified, and in this video I'll show you step by step how to model this sci-fi storage crate. Let's get started. Starting with a new scene, we're going to delete the starting objects by pressing A to select all and then hit the delete key. Now we want to add the primitive object that will become our crate. Press Shift A to bring up the add menu, then navigate to mesh and select the object closest to the final shape we want to achieve. In this case that would be a cube. We'll change the starting size of the cube from 2 meters to 1 meter using the pop-up menu in the bottom left. Now we can start blocking out the rough shapes of the model. Press Tab to enter edit mode, where we can manipulate the mesh. To get the shape that we want, we need to bevel all corners of the mesh. Press A to select all vertices, then to bevel them, press Ctrl+B and move the mouse to change the amount we want to bevel. Then left click to confirm. This will bring up a menu in the bottom left where we can further adjust the settings if needed. Next we want to add the larger details around the crate. We'll do this by adding some loop cuts. Press Ctrl and R to first add a loop cut, and then use either the scroll wheel on your mouse to change the number of loop cuts, or type in a number on your keyboard. We'll be adding 2 loop cuts. Press left click to confirm the number of loop cuts, and then right click to drop the loops where they are. Now we want to move the loop cuts closer to the edge of the crate. Press S to scale them, and then press Y to scale them along the Y axis. Pressing left click to confirm once in position. To achieve a more precise position, type in the number on your keyboard. We'll be repeating this along the other face of our crate, only this time we'll be scaling along the X axis. Once this is done, we want to turn these 2 loop cuts into extrudable sections. We'll select our new loop cuts by pressing 2 to go to edge select mode, and then holding Alt and Shift we can left click each loop to select it. Once selected, press Ctrl+B again to bevel. This will create 4 new loop cuts equally spaced from the original cuts. Press 3 to switch to face select mode, then use an Alt-Shift method again, select the new face loops, then press E to extrude them. This is going to look odd at first, but if we drop them in position with right click, then press Alt and S, we can scale them equally from the center point, pressing left click to confirm the new position. Now let's add some indents on the side to act as carry handles. First add 2 horizontal loop cuts, then select the center face and press I to inset a new face. Adjust this to the correct size and confirm with left click. Select the new face again and press E to extrude it inwards. To copy this onto the other side of the model, press A to select all vertices, and navigate to the Mesh drop-down menu and select Symmetrize. Make sure you symmetrize on the correct axis. In this case, it needs to be from X positive to X negative. Now we want to add a small screen on the front of the crate. This can be done by selecting the face we want to add the screen to, then insetting a face with I, and then insetting another face inside of this one. This will create the start of the screen border. Select this loop and press E to extrude it. With the basic shape of the crate blocked out, we can then add in finer details and supporting edges. We'll start by adding the supporting loops to 90-degree angles. These loops will prevent the sharp angles smoothing out when we apply a subdivision modifier later. Go around the model selecting the edges of the larger details that we added. Use Alt-Shift to select all of the loops. Make sure you haven't missed any edges before beveling. This time, when we bevel, we want to add 2 new segments. This will give us 3 edges, that is our main edge plus 2 supporting edges. We also want to give the crate an illusion of a lid. This can be done by adding a loop cut around the crate at the desired height, beveling this loop so we have a main edge plus 2 supporting edges, and then selecting the center loop and scaling it down. When rescaling this edge, press S and Shift to Z. This will ensure we only scale along the X and Y axis by locking out the Z axis. Once finished, select the loops above and below the crease and bevel to create more supporting edges. Now we want to bevel the handles. Select all the edges around the handle on one side, including the internal corners, then bevel them with 2 segments. This can be as sharp or as smooth as you'd like. You'll notice a face will appear on each corner that has 5 vertices. We want to avoid this, but for the sake of the tutorial, we'll use a much simpler but less optimized fix. Now, we can add new edges to the mesh with a knife tool. Press K to switch to the knife tool. Now if we select a single vertex and then another, then press Enter, this tool will add an edge between those 2 points. We'll add some loop cuts around the crate, and then use a knife to connect the supporting edges to the new loop cuts. Now we want to add supporting edges to our screen. Using what we've just learned, try adding them on your own. Don't forget to clean up the N-gon by adding loop cuts and using the knife tool to redirect the flow. We only need to clean up one side of the mesh, as we can use the symmetrize tool to copy it to the other side. The 45-degree angles will still need support to stop them from smoothing out when we apply the subdivision modifier. So again, select the edges and add a bevel to create supporting loops. You'll notice when these loops are selected, the edges around the screen are not highlighted. This is because of the redirected supporting edges and won't cause us any problems in this case. To fix the newly created N-gon, select the two vertices, then press M to bring up the merge menu, and then merge them into one. Don't forget to symmetrize your changes. Finally, we can shade the object smooth by pressing right click and selecting the Shade Smooth option. Then, add a subdivision modifier to smooth out the model. If you have any questions or requests, be sure to drop them down in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.